Welcome to episode 91 of the 3M Fair podcast. The day was February 16, 2025. KIT University was buzzing with excitement. It was the day of KIT Fest, a grand event where famous celebrities Bacha and Dhwani Bhanushali were set to perform. The whole campus was in a festive mood and Prakriti was there for it. It was said that on that day at 2:05 pm, Prakriti called her mother. She told that she was going to go for this fest and she would not be able to receive their calls because there would be network issue, so she said that once the fest was done, she would call them up. But unfortunately, what they didn't know was that this would be the last time that they would be talking to their daughter. This episode is particularly a very painful one, and it took me quite some time before I could get to it because I wanted to get all the details and make sure that I didn't make any error when it comes to this case. Everything that I'm going to narrate in this episode, the details have been taken from various news outlets and also interviews. The sources are all listed below, so you can definitely check them out. This is the story of Prakriti Lamsal. Prakriti was a young girl from Nepal who had big dreams for a future. She was a student from Siddhartha Nagar in Nepal. She was pursuing her higher studies at the Kalinga Institute of Industrial Technology, KIT. She was smart and hardworking and wanted to achieve something in life. She knew that she wanted to study more, and she wanted to do this in India. That's why, after she completed her schooling in Kathmandu, she decided that she would pursue her higher education in India. But on February 16, 2025, when her parents were notified of the horrific incident that took place, they couldn't believe. They couldn't believe that the daughter who wanted to achieve so much in life, who wanted to do so much more, who even left her native place for India so that she can achieve more, she can study more, has taken such a drastic step. They had no idea what made her take this step. But in order to understand why Prakriti did this, we have to understand her story. So to know why this happened, let's go back to the beginning. Hello and welcome to the 3am Fear podcast. I'm Nikita Ferrao, mystery and thriller author. On this podcast, I talk about real crimes and real people. Due to the graphic nature of some of this content, listener discretion is advised. You can find the episode show notes on my website 3amfear.com. Let's get started. Prakriti and her parents had an amazing bond. They knew that she wanted to do something in life, and so when she got this opportunity, they were more than happy. In fact, after the incident took place, her father would go on to say, and I quote, "There were two things Prakriti cared about the most: becoming an engineer and looking after her 9-year-old brother, Prayas. She adored him. She wanted to get him into the best school to shape his future. She was shy, but always willing to help others. I have lost my daughter. She wanted to set an example for others to follow. Those responsible should not go unpunished." End quote. As Prakriti was checking out her options, she heard about this education drive by KIT University from Odisha. She was more than happy and she participated. The event was held in Kathmandu, and the main goal was to get as many excited students from Nepal to come to India to study at the university. They spoke about admissions, scholarships, and even job placements. Prakriti was over the moon. As she attended this event, she got admission into Computer Science and Engineering department at KIT University. KIT University would go on to promise that they would not only provide the best education, but they would also offer accommodation, that is, food, place to stay, and also future job placements. What else could anyone ask for? Knowing that the university was going to help them, provide them with everything that they needed, going to a different country didn't seem that scary of a task. Now, Prakriti was not alone in this. She had her two cousins who were going to travel with her to KIT University, and knowing that she had backup support, she was more than happy. Her two cousins were Anirudh and Siddhant. Anirudh got into computer science, same as her, while Siddhant got into mechanical engineering. Now that she had a new start, a bright new future before her, this is when she met the one person who was going to change her life forever, Advik Shrivastava. At first, Advik and Prakriti became very close friends. At first, Advik was kind and caring and always spent time with her. He helped her out, took care of her, and made her feel as if she had just found a best friend in a country that was completely new to her. But as time passed, his behavior started to change, and the Advik that Prakriti first connected with turned into someone else. As he started shifting, he always wanted to be next to Prakriti. He wanted to know what she was doing, whom was she talking to, where was she going, every single thing. Wherever Prakriti went, Advik was there. He didn't like the idea that she was talking to other guys, so at one point, he even stopped her from talking to many people or even getting close to anyone. He started taking control of her decisions, and there was nothing that she could do without talking to Advik first, which included making new friends, skipping classes, these fun things that at one point any student would want to do in college. Prakriti had to first pass all of this through Advik, and only if Advik said yes or if he was with her, then it was allowed. After one point, Prakriti realized that their relationship was not going as planned, and so she decided that she wanted to separate herself from Advik. But unfortunately, this was much easier said than done, because Advik was not ready to let go of her. She tried to distance herself, but no matter what she did, Advik was one step ahead of her. In fact, it was said that after a particular period of time, Advik started blackmailing Prakriti. He had some recordings of her and he blackmailed her, saying that if she tried to get away from him or if she tried to do anything that he didn't like, then he was going to release all those videos. So now, Prakriti was stuck. At the same time, even if Prakriti wanted to get herself out of this by trying to get help, it is believed that Advik would get angry and then go running back to Prakriti, apologize, try to make up for it, become a completely new person, and then Prakriti would fall for it, and then the whole cycle would repeat all over again. This whole cycle of fighting, making up, then again fighting, it's very common in relationships today. In marriages, this is a form of domestic violence, but unfortunately, the victim is so emotionally trapped that it is almost impossible to know what is happening to you until it is too late. At times, people around you realize that there is something happening to you, that they try to talk to you, but you're so bound with this person that it is almost impossible to understand until it is too late. And unfortunately, the same was happening to Prakriti. Advik may have been showing his true colors from the beginning, but it took a lot of time for Prakriti to actually get up and scream for help. And that is what she did. And I'll get to that in a minute. The day was February 16, 2025. KIT University was buzzing with excitement. It was the day of KIT Fest, a grand event where famous celebrities Bacha and Dhwani Bhanushali were set to perform. The whole campus was in a festive mood, and Prakriti was there for it. It was said that on that day at 2:05 p.m., Prakriti called her mother. She told that she was going to go for this fest and she would not be able to receive their calls because there would be network issue, so she said that once the fest was done, she would call them up. But unfortunately, what they didn't know was that this would be the last time that they would be talking to their daughter. It was said that Prakriti would later be found in her room by her roommate. Her roommate was worried when Prakriti didn't turn up, and so she decided to go to her room only to find her there, unresponsive. I apologize, but due to YouTube policies, I am not allowed to use certain words, so please bear with me. It is a very painful experience, and I can't even begin to imagine what her roommate felt when she opened the door and saw Prakriti. Later that evening, around 5 or 5:30 p.m., Prakriti's parents received a phone call from KIT University saying that their daughter had just passed away. They were given the details and they were in absolute shock. Imagine being in Nepal, your daughter is in India, you get a phone call saying that this is what happened, and all you can think about, I don't even know what you can think about. They are right now in Nepal. It's not like they're just 5 or 10 minutes away. So, giving such news over the phone, I can't even begin to imagine what her parents went through. They had sent their daughter happily for a very bright future, knowing that she was going to achieve her dreams, become something big, and now they were receiving this phone call with such devastating news. The university had to wait for the police and for the ambulance to arrive so that the police could come, check everything, and then the ambulance would take Prakriti away. Before the police could even get there, the university took Prakriti's body from her room, took it to their own medical college, and performed their own post-mortem, and then created a report. It is said that they also took all her personal belongings, her mobile phones, anything that was with her at that time. In such cases, evidence is very important. It is important that you don't touch anything, you don't tamper with anything, because you don't know what might lead to solving a case. But the university did exactly the opposite. They took everything in their own hands. I could not find details as to who exactly placed the call to the police, but now I'm wondering about it. At this point, it kind of seemed like the university wanted to protect their own reputation and make sure that not a lot of details or any details were leaked out before the police could get there. They were more focused on themselves than on Prakriti. But as you know, this is the time of social media, and so none of the students let this go. They took out their phones and started recording videos, started recording everything that the college was doing. And as these videos got out, people started talking more and more about Prakriti's life. And that is where Advik came in. They started talking about Prakriti and Advik's relationship and how he was such a controlling and possessive boyfriend. And maybe this was the reason that Prakriti took her own life. One of the most disturbing and hurtful details that came out was this voice clip, an audio clip of Advik talking to Prakriti. And the way that he is talking to her and the way that she responds, you can clearly understand who is gaslighting whom.
सच बताना कुछ उल्टा सीधा कर दूंगा। पूरा दिन शांति से रहा, जब आती माँ तक चली आती है। मेरी मैंने स्टार्ट किया। माफी मांग प्रकृति, मेरे मुंह मत लग।
अजय कुछ माफ कर दो।
बोल
है
सारी क्या मैंने क्या स्टार्ट किया है यहाँ पे?
कुछ नहीं, मैंने स्टार्ट किया।
एक ही बच्ची, मैंने क्या स्टार्ट किया? बोलना। एक से बड़ा मुंह चलता है। पट 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 कॉल करने का सिर्फ इसलिए कॉल सोच लेता हूँ तेरे बारे में, वही मैं हक देता हूँ। तेरा पूरा दिन मेरा सुकून से गया था। जरा सी चीज होती, झट तेरे कुछ नहीं अकल में आया, झट तूने कुछ नहीं सीखा, ज्ञान चौध रही थी बीच में। हाँ मैं अपने आप को सही करूंगी, मैं अपने आप को शांत करूंगी। हाँ मुंह खोलती है भाई, मैंने तेरा क्यों मेरे मुंह लगती सुबह शाम?
तू मुझे कॉल ही ना क्या कर रात पे?
गलती जो कर दिया था
वही तो, अपनी गलती मान और निकल।
तेरे से अपनी गलती नहीं मानी जा रही तूने माँ चुदाई।
माफी मांग गया, मैंने कुछ नहीं किया।
चीज को समझ, निकल यहाँ से। बता क्या किया था मैंने, बता।
पूछा, मैंने बोला कि
क्या?
दीपक वाले मोमोज लेके आई। तूने बोला कि मदन की याद आ रही थी इसलिए गई।
हाँ,
क्यों
हाँ।
बोला आद्विक? शुरू में भी मैंने बोला था ना, तू मदन मदन कर रहा था, तब मैंने बोला नहीं आद्विक
शुरू
मदन
में
का
क्या
कुछ
मदन
नहीं
मदन
है।
बोला?
मुझे नहीं पता, कुछ बोला था, मदन की याद आ रही है, ये बोला
जबरदस्ती
था
बोला
तूने।
था।
हाँ,
तब दीपक
तूने
की मोमोज
बोला
वाली बात के
था।
बाद ही बोला था बस।
उससे पहले, सबसे पहले कॉल उठाते ही बोला था मदन की याद आ रही है, बोला था तूने।
हाँ शायद बोला था, बट जो भी है देखो, जब तुमसे दीपक वाली मोमो की बात आई प्रकृति, देखो श्वेता वाली चीज को लेकर करती, जो मैंने एक बार गुस्से में बोला था, और तू कल अगर गुस्से में मदन मदन कर सकती, तेरे से मैं आज नहीं बोल सकता या कुछ नहीं बोल सकता क्या? खुद याद कर, कल रात को सोते सोते जगा के तूने उठा के टॉन्ट बोलना शुरू कर देना, श्वेता को लेके
अच्छा,
ये,
उसका
श्वेता को
रिवेंज ले रहे थे, ठीक है लो आते।
भाई रिवेंज की बात नहीं करती थी, मैं तुम्हें एक लॉजिकली चीज समझा रहा हूँ। तुम श्वेता वाली चीज को लेके 2-3 हफ्तों तक टॉन्ट मार सकती
मैं
हो,
सेम
क्वेश्चन
चीज
पूछ
बोलूं तुझे कि तूने ये क्या था तो मैं भी ये करे, तो मुझे तो कितना गाली सुना था, कितना गाली देता है तू मुझे।
प्रकृति, मैं तुम्हें सेम चीज, देख
मैं करूँ तो गलत, मैं ना करूँ तो भी गलत।
मुंह मतलब कुटिया में तेरी
As you listen to the clip, you can clearly see that Advik is trying to gaslight Prakriti. He is trying to force her into confessing something that she initially said that was not her. Once again, the question that was asked was, if Advik was like this, why didn't Prakriti leave him? And that's what I said. It is very difficult to get out of such toxic relationships. It's easier to say, you're in a toxic relationship, you need to get out, but it's much more difficult to do it in real life. After Prakriti's incident, KIT University took everything into their own hands. They even locked the girls' hostel room so that all the information would not go out or people would not talk amongst each other. They didn't want the girls' hostel details to reach the boys' hostel. But unfortunately, this was not in their control. As soon as the boys' hostel found out, they immediately raced to the girls' hostel and all hell broke loose. The students first gathered around the International Relations Office, that is IRO, where they were supposed to seek help because they were international students. They didn't belong to India. They had come to India to study. So, this was the place where they could ask for help. But when they reached there, they found out that Prakriti had already come there asking for help, and they did not give it to her. Her father would go on to say, and I quote, Prakriti had always been quiet, a little reserved. But at KIT University, she had spoken up. Twice, she had filed 2 complaints against a fellow student alleging harassment. The university responded by calling in both students for counseling. But her family was never informed. No action was taken. A firm action could have saved her. End quote. I feel for her father, and he is right. If only action was taken at the right time, Prakriti could have been saved. Prakriti and her cousin Siddhant had gone and reached out for help. But when they told everything, all that Advik was given was a warning, a slap on the wrist, not to do this again, and it was all dismissed. The university had failed her. The system had failed her. Thanks to social media, as these things started to come out, people realized more and more about the loopholes that were in the KIT University's details. What they were saying and what had actually happened days leading up to this incident. As the pressure on the administration grew, the Vice Chancellor of the university, Professor Charanjit Singh, called for an emergency meeting. He said that all students, including the university staff, would be properly checked, and in case they found out that someone had done something, then that person would be properly punished. He would also go on to claim that student safety was their top priority, which, now that we know all the details, you can see how true it is. The true nature of the university came out when they took all of the students' phones so that the students could not record or make reels or even share anything. As and when things were happening, they were trying to actively erase everything. Any digital footprint, they were trying to make sure that no one captured anything, and this case would just magically disappear. But despite all this, the students were not ready to keep quiet. In fact, they even reached out to news outlets and started narrating their stories, telling them what was happening, what the university was trying to do, and what had happened to Prakriti. To be honest, if they hadn't done this, then we would not have all these details that we have now. Even though the university tried their best to stop these students, they only ended up making things worse. Because a clip was released, and this is what was said. During the strike, some faculty members made derogatory comments. One particular statement that went viral was from a faculty member who said,
बच्चों को वो आदमी खिला रहा है पढ़ा रहा है फ्री में बिठा के तुम्हारे कंट्री
quote, "This university provides free food to 40,000 students, which is more than your country's budget." End quote. You can clearly see that the university sees these students as someone beneath them, or at least the staff does. When they had gone to Nepal, they made so many promises. We are going to protect you, we are going to help you, we are going to help you achieve your dream career. But now, thanks to all the students who stood up against the university, these details have come out. I also want to point out here and say that KIT University is not the only university that is doing it. There are many more. There are a lot of universities who have done this, who are doing this, but unfortunately, we don't know about them yet. And I sincerely hope that the students who are going through something, please speak up. If you are scared that someone would do something, please speak up. At this point, the students were not just fighting for Prakriti, they were also fighting against the university for everything that was happening to them. Many students would also go on to say that they suspected that the university was actually trying to protect Advik and not deliver justice to Prakriti. Imagine Prakriti herself had gone forward and spoken about Advik, but the university didn't do anything. Now that Prakriti was gone, the university still didn't do anything. In fact, nothing was done against Advik. The university did not suspend him, did not take any strict legal action, nothing. They were busy trying to silence all the other students. On February 17, 2025, KIT University delivered a horrifying news. It was closed for Nepali students. No one was given any prior notice, no one was told about this, no warnings were given that if you do this, we are going to do this. They just decided they were going to do it. The situation even took a violent turn when the university brought in bouncers and even goons to beat up students who were not ready to leave and to throw out the things of all the students who were there and were trying to get out or were not ready to get out. Throw their things out. The students were then taken to a bus stand and then put on the bus. Unfortunately, the students had no accommodation, no food, no money, nothing. They were just stranded in a new country with no idea of how to get anywhere. We can't even begin to imagine what these students went through. They were treated worse than criminals, taken and just dumped out. Thanks to the previous conversation of the students, the media was heavily involved in this case. And when they saw the students were not there, the university started to feel the pressure. And that is when they decided that they were going to call back all the students that they had just thrown out to come back to the campus. They even put out a statement. It said, and I quote, "As many as 1,000 Nepali students out of 1,100 have returned to KIT DU to resume their academic pursuits after temporarily leaving the campus in the wake of the February 16 incident. The remaining 100 students are on their way and will be arriving soon." With the situation stabilized, KIT DU engaged in continuous dialogue with the Nepal embassy, student representatives, and parents to reassure them about the security and support available at the university. Special grievance redressal mechanisms were put in place to address any concerns and enhance the overall student experience. End quote. As you can see, KIT University one day decided they were going to bring in people, goons, actual goons, to throw all their students out. Took them put them somewhere. Some of them didn't even know where they were. They said that they were put in abandoned places. Some were put on the bus. No food, no accommodation, no money, nothing. Soon they realized that whatever they were doing was not going to go unnoticed. And so, in order to do damage control, they brought all the students back. And after bringing the students back, they put out a notice saying that the students who had left on their own because of this incident, they had left on their own and now they have come back, and there are a few more that we are waiting for them to come back. And we are trying our best. We are talking to the Nepal embassy and we are trying our best to make sure that the students receive the help that is needed. When the students came back, they were made to sign an agreement which said that they could not go and talk about this, they would not make videos, they would not engage in any kind of strike or anything that would tarnish the reputation of KIT University. The students were already angry about what happened to Prakriti. Now that all of this was happening to them, being thrown out and then brought back, and now made to sign this agreement, nothing could have been worse for them. Whether they signed something or not, the truth about KIT University had already come out. People were actively watching, reading the news. The clips that were previously posted were being circulated. People were watching the news. People were closely following what was happening to Prakriti's case, what was happening in KIT University. All eyes were on the university. There was no going back for them. And this was a good thing, because the help that Prakriti needed, she was finally going to get it. Unfortunately, she was not there to receive it. The administration suddenly decided to suspend 5 staff members and suspend 2 senior hostel officials and 1 senior administrative officer. 2 of the suspended teachers had made offensive remarks about Nepali students. They even released a public apology that I will show here.
I'm making this video to apologize for the statements I said on 16th night in the spur of the moment.
I want to take a moment to apologize for my recent remarks regarding.
As said, what made this whole thing all the more worse was that the university only did something when they were under fire. If only they had done this when Prakriti was alive. As we can see, with the power of social media, all of this reached the Nepali embassy. Meanwhile, talking about Advik, he tried to run, and he was caught at the airport while trying to flee to Kolkata. This was all thanks to Prakriti's cousin, who had filed an FIR, and thanks to that, Advik was caught. The police also took action against the university officials. On February 18, 5 senior officials were arrested for their involvement in the mistreatment of students. But they were soon released on bail. On February 20, 5 more staff members were arrested, and these were the people who were responsible for forcibly removing the students from the university. Unlike the first batch of people, the bail for these were denied and they were still in custody. As a result of everything that happened, KIT University's reputation was gone. And that is when they decided that they would bring out a new scholarship in the name of Prakriti. This scholarship is supposed to help students who are financially struggling. When Prakriti was alive, the university ignored all her pleas for help. And now that she is gone, they have brought out a new scholarship, trying to show that they are supportive and welcoming. As the pressure increased, even the founder of the university, Dr. Achutya Samanta, was called in for questioning. The Odisha Higher Education Department sent him a notice on February 21, 2025, demanding that he appear before the high-level committee. He was also required to submit documents and proof related to the case. This was a huge development. At this point, many believe that the whole case was coming to an end. The hearing was scheduled for February 25, and as of February 23, it seemed like everything was in order and heading towards justice. But there is still a lot more that is happening, and every day as I open the news, there is more and more that is coming out. I'm closely following this case. Do follow me there. I'll be posting any and all updates that take place. In the end, Prakriti had felt like She had no option. She had no support. She had no one she could talk to. Students at her age are not very comfortable sharing with their parents, especially about relationships. And that too, she was in a completely different country, a new country where she didn't know anyone. The only person she knew was Advik, and Advik made sure that she was separated from everyone else. So I'm sure that she did not get a chance to make any best friends or any new friends. She realized that she needed help, and when she went to ask for help, unfortunately, the university turned their backs to her. We don't know if this is because there is some connection to Advik. Maybe the university was trying to protect Advik, or the university just did not want to get into this whole mess of relationship drama. Maybe they thought that this was a simple relationship drama and they didn't want to get into it. Even then, the smallest of the smallest issues can sometimes turn into something as fatal as what happened with Prakriti. If only the university had listened to her when she first came. For now, I would like to know from you, what do you think about this case? What do you think about the way the university handled it? What do you think about the way the media, the students handled it? And what do you think about what's going forward? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please write them in the description. And if there is any other case that you would like me to cover, please write it in the description too. Until then, stay kind and stay safe out there. Don't hesitate to ask for help if needed. Even if you have the slightest bit of doubt, don't hesitate to ask for help.